Reading and reacting. This has been highly debated between the community for quite a long time. This has went back as far as I can remember, as far as the game has been out. Reading and reacting. Should you be able to physically see and be able to react to everything from the lowest skill player all the way up? Or should things be unreactable across the board? That's what we're going to dive into today. What's going on YouTube, man? It's your boy, XRyuChiOniX Gaming. I'm going to wrap it up for you, man. I'm just good for you. I'm going to get that shit to you raw. In today's video, like you see in the thumbnail and the title, we're going to be talking about reading and reacting. What is better for the game and what is better for the community? I wanted to talk about this topic because this has definitely been talked about in the community for quite a long time. And we're seeing a lot of changes. Now, I don't want to say they're going to look at this system. I highly doubt they're going to look at this like they're going to look at the perk system, and the feats probably coming soon after doing the maps. But this has changed, so there's nothing in the book saying they won't do it. I just don't think they're going to do it. But let's talk about this because I think this is generally pretty split. I put a poll out at least a couple times to get different feedback and different time points in the game about readable and reactable offenses and defenses and stuff like that. So being able to react to everything. Here's my point on being able to react to everything. I think that overall, when we're talking about being able to react to everything, I'm talking about every skill bracket, every skill level in the game will be able to react to it. Okay, that means that guy who's rep 1. So that's what I mean by reacting to everything. So even if a rep 1 was able to react to something, what would the game look like? The game would probably look like something closer to pre-CCU, but on steroids. No one's going to be swinging, doing any attacking. I'm probably going to be in that group for sure. I'm not swinging. I'm not throwing a slow-ass light attack. But I do see why certain people want that. And I'm going to explain both sides of the point here. I do see why people want a reactable game because it closes the skill gap for players who are typically not going to be better. Not only, because I know someone's going to jump in the comments, skill issue. I'm going to pin the first person who does it. But not only does it close the skill gap for players who are not as skilled, but it also does close the skill gap for players who are potentially still on the older gen consoles. I know we are definitely in a more futuristic timing with everybody having the next gen consoles, but you still have to remember there are quite a few players who are still on old gen consoles. Now, that is also another debate in its own. Should games start leaving these guys behind because they're failing to innovate and kind of keep up with the pack? That is a different talk on its own. But we're going to stay on topic with keeping this here. I can definitely see how people want that closed because if everything is the same way like that, it would just be, it'd be crazy. It'd be crazy. Like I said, it would be the CCU on steroids if everyone can see everything. So now people won't be able to so quick to say that, oh, quote unquote, PC players are just that much better. They're able to do this and this and this and this when everybody can do it. But you have to remember that now that you're doing that, you're making the players who are already at the top having them have an easier time. So is it better for you to have your average lobbies be slightly better and to possibly get your ass whooped a lot worse against a better player? That's kind of the pick and choose you're doing here. Now, on the flip side, if you have everything pretty much unreactable, if everything is unreactable, I think that would be a nightmare. That would be a complete stress simulator. If you've been following me for quite a while, you know that I call For Honor the stress simulator. For Honor will be a complete nightmare. I would probably not play this game. I'm not gonna lie. There's too many options. There's too many characters who have a fuck ton of mix-ups from neutral, and there's just too much. You have variable timed heavies. You got characters who have unblockables from neutral that can soft feint into GB, soft feint into light. You got soft feints into bleeds, and then you got stance soft feints. It's really you gotta be careful what you wish for. You have to be careful because that would just be crazy. That would be a nightmare. We're not even talking about bashes. As you heard, we're just talking about soft feints. We're just talking about regular attacks. You mean to tell me you can't tell which side this man's gonna throw a light at? Now you got characters with infinite lights who are instantly gonna be pub stompers. You got characters like Shaman who would just completely dominate lobbies. The fact that you can instantly completely bleed an opponent into an unreactable, soft feintable GB that can possibly get you 35 damage from a bite and heal you and put you back into the mix. You got a Raider who can do an unblockable mix-up. He can unblockable mix-up from neutral, whether it's a soft feint into the top lane. He can do a soft feint to GB. He can let it fly. He can feint into nothing. It doesn't matter. It's all unreactable. So you have to be careful what you wish for. Think about Shigoki. How annoying that shit would be if he would just be able to soft feint. Not even soft feint. He can just hug from neutral and be unreactable. So he could heal himself and do 20 damage. That would be broken. That would be broken. Highly broken. So you kind of got to be careful what you wish for. But on the flip side, I got to play devil's advocate here. I got to do both sides here. I got to get that shit to you raw. I do see why people want it to be unreactable, because in this way, it evens the playing field across all platforms 100%. Not only does it balance it and completely close the skill gap across the platforms, but it closes the gap across the skill of individual players. If everything is unreactable to everybody, you're no longer required to kind of somewhat rely on your reaction skills. It's negatable. You don't even need to worry about being able to react because everything is a guessing game. You just take a guess and you probably just start swinging. Being a stare fest will no longer be a thing. It'll be just a mash fest. So now you play the game of, do you want a mash fest? People just swinging and throwing a lot of lights, probably throwing a lot of bashes, or do you want people to do the staring game? So it's kind of what you want. Do you prefer people to do a lot of swinging at you, or do you prefer people to stare at you? It's kind of what you want to pick. Now, like I said, I play both sides. I see both sides of the story. What we have currently is a hybrid. I think this is probably honestly the best choice of balancing. Like I said, I try to play devil's advocate here. I listen to both sides of the story, but I think hybrid, Ubisoft got it right with Front. They got it right with this. They got the both sides where you got guys sitting here doing unreactable bashes, but not necessarily their offense being completely unreactable. Let's say you can throw an unreactable bash, but your lights are not going to be completely unreactable. Yeah, not every person in the game who plays this game can react to it, but that doesn't mean not every person in the game can't react to it. So it plays both sides. You know, I kind of agree with how they took it. When I first played the CCU, I was pissed off because I was finally getting good at the game and I was able to react to light parries. And I think, if I remember right, back in that time period, sorry if you hear the rain in the back, it's pouring here. But if I remember right, back in the day, the lights were different speeds, so you couldn't just parry one guy's light the same speed. Like I know Orochi was the one that practiced on if you wanted to parry lights on reaction, because he had a 3-string light at the time I was practicing it, and it was just a fucking nightmare online. For me, at least, in my skill bracket. So, yeah, it does. I think that the hybrid is the best one because it gives you the best of both worlds. Now, do we still have issues? Yes. Just like any other system we're gonna have. If everything was unreactable, it would still be issues. People would complain about there's no fucking way to just, have offense. People are just mashing at everything. And on the other side, if everything was completely reactable, they don't throw nothing, they don't do nothing, it would be an issue. But right now we have a hybrid system, and now our issues are we believe that certain characters don't deserve certain shit just based on how the character's played and how players are playing the current version of the character. So that is something that is different. People want Ocelotto nerfed. He's one of them. He's a prime example. Before he had his unreactable bash, people complained that his bash was not really useful most of the time against players who knew what they were doing. The opener bash is what I'm talking about. He had an opener bash that was not unreactable, so it just, once you saw him do that dodge forward to orange, you dodge and it's free damage for him because he can't feint it. He can't, you can react to it. But now they got it to where it's unreactable, and now he instantly shot up into being, I say he's the best duelist in the entire game. His offense is completely unreactable. You do not want that man to get his hands on you because you will be sorry. So now players want him nerfed. And what do you do to nerf him? Make his bash reactable. So that's the point where that's an example of what we're in right now. So it's kind of like, what do you want? Pick and choose your battles. What specifically do you want? Do you want everything to be reactable? Do you want everything to be unreactable? Do you want the hybrid system? Are you looking for specific characters to have a reactable offense, or are you looking for specific characters to have a unreactable, or you know what I'm saying? Which are you looking for? You got to pick and choose your battles. Tell me down below what you guys believe in. I'm for the hybrid system. I do believe certain characters don't deserve to have certain shit, but that's just me. I'm more of certain shit don't make sense in the game. As far as, if you heard my other video, certain shit don't make sense, man. We got damages that don't fucking make sense. I'm gonna leave it at that. If you know, you know. Tell me what you guys think down below, man. I'll wrap it up for you, man. I'll shoot it for you. Let me get that shit to you, man. Thank y'all for coming out.